Okay, so you know how sometimes you just need a really good laugh?
Oh, yeah,
Like, you just gotta find something that'll make you crack up.
totally.
Well, you guys sent in a ton of suggestions for our funniest actors deep dive,
Awesome.
and we are ready to dive in.
I love it. Let's do it.
So it's not just like a simple top 10 list or anything.
Yeah.
It actually like breaks down each actor's comedic style,
Interesting.
like what makes them uniquely funny.
I like that. Like their comedic DNA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to figure out why these actors are so funny
Okay.
and maybe even help you figure out what you find hilarious along the way.
A comedy tasting menu for the mind.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
All right, so first up, Ricky Gervais.
Okay.
This list describes him as like the master of cringe. Is
Mhm.
that a good thing? Because I find him hilarious,
Right.
but it can so awkward to watch sometimes.
Yeah, cringe comedy is interesting.
It is.
It's like it makes you squirm a little bit, right?
Yes.
Like those awkward moments, the social faux pas. Things you would never want to do yourself.
Oh my God, yes.
But when it's done well,
Yeah.
it's like it taps into our own anxieties.
Uh-huh.
And somehow we just laugh at the discomfort of it all.
It's true. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, so like that scene in The Office
Which one?
with David Brent, Ricky Gervais's character,
Oh, yeah.
where he's trying to be all cool and hip,
Uh-huh.
and it just crashes and burns spectacularly.
It's so painful.
It's so good, though.
It is.
So what's the secret sauce there?
It's the contrast, I think.
Okay.
Like you have that cringy behavior,
Yeah,
but then he delivers it with this totally deadpan expression.
you're right.
Almost like he's completely oblivious to how awkward it is.
Yes,
And that just catches you off guard.
it does.
You don't expect it.
Right?
And you just can't help but laugh.
Even though you're cringing at the same time.
Exactly.
So good. Do you like cringe comedy?
I do in small doses.
Yeah.
Too much can be a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about Gervais is that
What?
he uses that style to expose like those unspoken social rules,
Oh, interesting.
the things we all kind of navigate.
Yeah.
He's holding up a mirror to our own anxieties in a way.
I like that. Okay, let's move on to a legend.
Okay, who?
Bill Murray.
Classic.
So this list describes him as having dry wit, improvisational brilliance, and an eccentric persona.
That's pretty accurate.
He's been in so many classic comedies.
I know. Where do you even begin?
I know. So how would you describe Bill Murray's comedic style?
But he's definitely a master of deadpan.
Okay.
You know that style where the humor comes from a lack of emphasis?
Uh-huh.
Like no big reactions or anything?
Yeah.
It's almost anti-humor.
Okay.
And he's just perfected it.
So it's all about subverting expectations.
Exactly.
Like you expect a big reaction or a punchline,
Right.
but instead,
You get this totally dry, almost bored delivery
and that somehow makes it funnier.
because it's unexpected.
Right. It's like the I'm too cool to care attitude.
Totally.
Does his style remind you of any other comedians?
Well, deadpan humor's been around forever.
That's true.
Like think Buster Keaton or even Bob Newhart.
Yeah.
But Murray definitely brings his own unique flavor to it.
In what way?
He's got those subtle facial expressions,
Yeah.
like a raised eyebrow or a slight smirk.
But he knows something we don't.
Right.
Right.
It's like he's letting the audience in on the joke,
Yeah.
while his character remains completely clueless.
That's so true. Okay, let's switch gears completely.
Bring it on.
Melissa McCarthy.
Love her.
She's all about physical comedy, right?
Oh, yeah. You don't see that as much these days.
No, you don't.
She's amazing.
She is. So what do you think makes her so good at it?
Well, physical comedy, when done well, is an art form.
I agree.
And she's a master. She's not afraid to fully commit to the bit, whether it's falling, tripping, contorting her body.
It's true.
But she does it all with this incredible confidence
Yeah.
and sense of playfulness. And it's just infectious.
It's so true. Okay, I've tried doing a pratfall.
Oh, yeah. And it is way harder than it looks.
I bet.
So, like, what's the key to pulling it off?
Well, I think it's about never being the butt of the joke.
Okay.
Like, even when she's covered in cake or tripping over furniture,
Uh-huh.
she owns those moments.
Yes.
It's like she's inviting us to laugh with her, not at her.
Well, that's a good distinction.
It's a subtle shift, but it makes all the difference.
Okay, so confidence is key.
I think so.
All right, speaking of pushing boundaries,
Who's next?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, wow.
His humor can be really out there.
It can be a bit much sometimes.
Yeah, So is it even possible to analyze what he does?
Well, I mean, he's definitely a satirist.
Okay.
He uses those larger-than-life characters,
Yeah.
often offensive,
Right.
to expose hypocrisy and poke fun at societal norms.
Right. Like Borat.
Exactly, Borat Ali G.
Those characters are intentionally ridiculous.
They are.
But it allows them to say and do things.
That we wouldn't normally confront.
Yeah, and it makes us think about those uncomfortable truths.
So he's definitely not afraid to make people uncomfortable.
Not at all.
Is that like the point?
Well, satire is meant to provoke.
True.
And I think Cohen's brilliance is that
Yeah.
he uses humor as a weapon.
Against
Prejudice, ignorance, things we often ignore.
Yeah,
Whether it's effective or goes too far is up to each individual.
that's fair.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to someone a little less,
Shocking.
shocking. Steve Carell.
Oh, I love them.
He's just so good at those lovable, awkward characters.
He really is.
What's the secret to his success?
I think he finds humor in the mundane.
Mm.
Like those everyday situations.
Yeah.
The awkward encounters, the office mishaps.
Uh-huh.
He just elevates them to comedic gold.
Right, like it's relatable.
Exactly. And he's a master of reacting in unexpected ways.
Oh, yeah.
Think about Michael Scott's facial expressions in The Office.
Oh my God, so good.
It's comedic timing at its finest.
It's true. And even when his characters are cringy, we somehow still root for them.
We do. Why is that?
What do you think it is?
I think it's that underlying sweetness and vulnerability.
Okay.
Like, his characters are often trying their best,
Yeah.
even if they constantly mess things up.
Right.
And we can all relate to that feeling.
Yeah. Wanting to succeed.
Exactly.
All right. Next up is one of my personal favorites,
Oh, who?
Tina Fey.
Oh, she's brilliant.
So sharp and witty. Where does that even come from?
Well, she embodies a type of humor that's become incredibly influential.
Okay. What's that?
Intelligent comedy.
I like that.
She's not just telling jokes.
Yeah.
She's weaving in social commentary, satire, wordplay.
It's true.
Things that make you think while you laugh.
It's a delicate balance.
It is. And she nails it.
She does, like 30 Rock Mean Girls.
Classic.
Her writing is so clever.
It really is.
It's like she's hiding an extra layer of joke.
For those paying attention.
Exactly.
And it's not just the writing, it's the delivery, too.
Okay.
She's got that dry, almost deadpan style
Yeah.
that just enhances the sharpness of her jokes.
It's true.
She's not hitting you over the head with the humor.
Right.
She's letting you discover it.
Okay. Are you ready for a complete 180?
Hit me with it.
Will Ferrell.
Oh, man.
Pure comedic energy.
He's like a human cartoon.
He really is.
Completely uninhibited, willing to do whatever it takes for a laugh.
What do you think is the key to his style of humor?
I think it's the absurdity. He's completely committed to it.
Yeah.
He's not winking at the audience.
He's in it.
He's fully inhabiting these ridiculous characters.
And that makes it funny.
That earnestness makes it impossible not to laugh.
So it's all about commitment.
I think...
Like you have to believe it.
Right. And he's tapping into that childlike joy.
Of just being silly.
Exactly.
It's contagious.
It really is. I'm starting to see a pattern here.
What's that?
Every comedian brings something different to the table.
They do. It's what makes them unique.
All right. Speaking of versatility, what about Kristen Wiig?
She's amazing.
She always plays these quirky offbeat characters. She does. She disappears into these bizarre roles.
She does.
And often deeply flawed characters.
Yeah.
And she's a master of both physical and verbal comedy.
It's true.
And her improv skills are incredible.
Yeah. Have you ever tried improv?
A little bit.
Is it terrifying?
It can be. It's all about being present,
Yeah.
listening to your scene partners,
Yeah.
and being willing to say yes and
Right.
to whatever comes your way.
That's scary.
It is. And Wiig excels at all of those things.
It's true. She's not afraid to make bold choices.
She goes with the flow.
And that fearlessness creates some truly hilarious moments.
It really does. Okay, you ready for iconic territory?
Oh, yeah. Who we got?
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. What can we even say?
He's a comedic force of nature.
He is.
From Saturday Night Live to his classic films.
So many.
He's been a pioneer,
In what way?
pushing boundaries,
Right.
creating iconic characters.
Yeah.
He's got that raw energy, the impeccable timing,
It's true.
the ability to switch between characters seamlessly.
It's like he's a different person in every role.
He's a masterclass in comedic performance.
And last, but certainly not least,
Who's the final comedian?
Kevin Hart.
Oh, yeah. He's taken the world by storm.
He has. What do you think makes him so successful?
I think it's his relatability.
Okay.
He takes those everyday experiences,
Uh-huh.
the awkward moments,
Mm-hmm.
the relationship struggles,
Right.
and turns them into these hilarious anecdotes
Yeah.
that connect with people on a personal level.
Yeah, it's like he's just telling you a story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's also incredibly self-deprecating.
Which makes him endearing.
It does. You can't help but root for him.
Wow, this list has been such an eye-opener.
I know, right?
It's not just about being funny.
What else is it about?
It's about having a unique perspective, mastering a style,
Yeah,
and connecting with the audience in a genuine way.
I think you've nailed it.
That's what makes these actors so successful.
I agree. And we've only just scratched the surface.
Oh, we've got more.
There are so many more talented comedians out
Oh,
there,
I can't wait.
each with their own comedic DNA.
We'll be right back to continue our deep dive into the world of laughter. All right, we are back.
Ready for more laughs?
I am. This deep dive is really making me appreciate
All right.
just the art of making people laugh.
Yeah. It's amazing how much goes into it.
It is. It really is. It's
Yeah.
like peeling back the layers of an onion.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Right. There's always something new to discover.
So true. So who's next on our list?
All right, so we've explored a lot of American comedians so far.
Okay.
Why don't we, hop across the pond
Ooh, like where this is going.
and dive into the world of British humor?
Let's do it.
Okay, who do we have first?
All right, let's start with a classic.
Okay,
Rowan Atkinson.
and Mr. Bean.
Exactly.
I love him.
He's a prime example of a comedian who can make you laugh without saying a word.
Oh, that's so true. I remember watching his show as a kid.
Me too.
Those visual gags and facial expressions.
Pure genius.
So how would you describe his style?
Well, it's rooted in slapstick.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that classic stuff.
Like Charlie Chaplin.
Exactly. Chaplin, Buster Keaton, all those silent film era comedians.
They relied on physical comedy.
Right. Exaggerated movements, visual humor.
And it's still funny today.
It's timeless.
It is. So what do you think makes slapstick so universally appealing?
Well, I think it taps into something primal in us.
Okay.
Like we see someone slip on a banana peel,
Yeah.
get hit with a pie in the face, or walk into a wall.
And we laugh.
We can't help but laugh. It's a physical, visceral kind of humor
Yeah, we all understand it.
on a gut level.
Right. It's like a shared human experience.
Totally.
The clumsiness, the unexpected mishaps.
We all relate to that on some level.
And Atkinson is a master of it.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
He uses his body like a comedic instrument.
That's a great way to put it.
He creates these elaborate routines and scenarios
Uh-huh.
that are both hilarious and surprisingly sophisticated.
Okay. Who else is on our British comedy roster?
Well, you can't talk about British comedy without mentioning
Mhm.
Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
Oh my gosh, yes.
They're like the kings of blending genres.
Yes, I love their movies.
They take something like a zombie movie or a buddy cop film,
Uh-huh.
and they inject it with this uniquely British humor.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz.
Classics.
So clever and quotable.
I know. So what do you think is the secret to their comedic chemistry?
Yeah, they just bounce off each other so well.
I think it comes from years of friendship and collaboration.
Okay.
They've developed this shorthand, this intuitive understanding.
And each other.
Exactly, of each other's timing and sensibilities.
That's like magic.
It's like watching a well-oiled machine.
So is that something you can learn?
I think some people naturally have great comedic chemistry,
Okay.
but it can also be developed through practice and collaboration.
So it's about trust.
Right. Trust, vulnerability, supporting each other's choices.
Okay, next up we have a master of character comedy,
Oh, who's that?
Catherine Tate.
Oh, I love her.
Am I buffered?
Iconic.
So iconic. So what makes her so good at what she does?
I think it's her ability to transform into these larger-than-life characters,
Oh, yeah.
each with her own distinct voice mannerisms, catchphrases.
She's a chameleon.
She really is.
Yeah.
But what's brilliant
Yeah.
is beneath those exaggerated exteriors,
Yeah.
there's this real human truth to her characters.
That's a good point. And her physical comedy?
Don't even get me started.
I know. I remember her character, Nan, the grumpy grandmother.
Oh, yeah.
The way she shuffles around and delivers those cutting remarks.
It's hilarious.
So good. Okay, let's jump back across the Atlantic.
Okay, I'm ready.
For a comedic legend,
Oh, was it?
Jim Carrey.
Oh, man. Where do you even begin?
I know, right? He's done so much.
He's like a comedic force of nature.
He is. He really is.
He exploded onto the scene
Yeah.
with his boundless energy,
Yeah.
rubber face expressions,
Uh-huh.
and a willingness to push the boundaries of physical comedy.
He's not afraid to be anything.
Right. He's loud, silly, grotesque even.
And that makes him so captivating.
It does.
I remember watching Ace Ventura: Pet Detective as a kid.
Oh, yeah. And just being in awe of his physicality.
It's like he's a human cartoon.
He is. He totally is.
Yeah.
So do you think that style of humor has a shelf life?
Well, comedic tastes definitely evolve,
Yeah.
but there's something timeless about physical slapstick humor.
Okay.
It's rooted in our shared human experience,
Yeah.
the joy of playfulness, the release of laughter.
All right, who's next on our comedic adventure?
Okay, let's talk about someone who's relatively new to the scene,
Okay.
but making a big impact, Aquafina.
Aquafina, I love her.
She's a rapper, actress, comedian.
She's so cool.
She has this fresh, authentic voice
Yeah.
that's really resonating with audiences.
I first saw her in Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, me too.
She just stole the show.
What do you think sets her apart?
Yeah. Why is she so funny?
I think it's that unique blend of dry wit,
Okay.
observational humor,
Uh-huh.
and a touch of absurdity.
Yeah.
And she's not afraid to be herself,
It's true.
to embrace her quirks and her cultural background, and that authenticity just shines through. It's like she's not even trying.
Right. She just ices funny.
And that makes her so relatable.
Exactly. And she also tackles some important social issues,
Oh, yeah.
weaving in commentary on race, gender identity.
Wow.
She's using humor to spark conversations.
It's amazing how comedy can be both entertaining and thought-provoking.
It's a powerful tool.
It is. We've covered so much ground already.
I know, right?
Slapstick, satire, dry wit.
It's been quite the journey.
It has. What has stood out to you the most?
I think I've been reminded that humor is so subjective.
It really is.
What one person finds hilarious, another might not.
That's true.
But the beauty is there's something out there for everyone.
I agree.
And exploring these different styles and techniques
Yeah,
helps us expand our own sense of humor.
that's a good point. I'm already laughing more.
Me too.
Okay, so before we move on,
Yeah.
I want to hear from you guys.
What about?
What makes you laugh?
Good question.
What are your favorite comedic styles techniques?
We want to know.
Okay, so we're back, and I gotta say, this deep dive has been amazing.
It's been a lot of fun.
I feel like I have a whole new appreciation
For
of comedy, like the art of making people laugh.
it's true. It's not as easy as it looks.
No, it's not. It
No.
takes skill.
Definitely. So who's next on our list of comedy giants?
All right, let's talk about someone who's been making us laugh for decades.
Okay, who?
Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh, Ellen. She's great.
What do you think is the secret to her success?
Well, she's a master of observational comedy.
Okay.
You know, finding humor in those everyday situations.
Yeah, like those little things we can all relate to.
Exactly. She also has this really warm and relatable persona.
She does.
It makes her humor feel accessible and inviting.
Like she's your friend.
Yeah. And she's not making fun of anyone.
Right.
It's more like she's inviting you to laugh with her.
At the absurdity of life.
Exactly.
I grew up watching her sitcom,
Me too.
and her talk show is so popular.
It's become a staple.
It really has.
Yeah.
She's also really good at physical comedy.
Oh, yeah. The subtle expressions and gestures.
Like she doesn't even have to say anything.
Right. She's a pro. Okay, who's next?
Well, let's talk about someone who's known for his absurdist humor.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're going to say.
Yeah.
Zach Galifianakis.
You got it. He's so weird.
In the best way possible.
Right. He's not your average comedian.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
So what do you think makes him so unique?
Well, he embraces the awkward and the uncomfortable.
Right? Like those cringy moments
Yes.
that most comedians would avoid
But he just owns them.
and turns them into comedy gold.
His character in The Hangover,
Oh my God, Alan.
so good.
He's wonderfully weird and unpredictable.
And Between Two Ferns,
Oh yeah, his interview show.
it's brilliant.
It's so awkward.
I know. It's like he's intentionally trying to make his guests squirm.
He is. He totally is.
I mean, he's so good at it.
He plays with those expectations of a traditional interview
Right.
and just flips them on their head.
And his delivery,
It's all deadpan.
it just adds to the absurdity.
It really does.
Yeah.
Okay, who else do we have?
All right, let's switch gears again to
Yeah.
Mindy Kaling.
Oh, Mindy. She's amazing.
So talented.
Writer, actress, producer, comedian,
She does it all.
and she uses her platform to address important social issues.
Yeah, she's not afraid to get real.
And she does it in a way that's both funny and thought-provoking.
The Mindy Project was such a great show.
It was so refreshing.
And her writing is so sharp.
What do you think makes her stand out?
Well, she creates these characters
Yeah.
that are relatable, but also aspirational.
Right. They're flawed, but they're also driven.
Yeah, they make mistakes, but they're always learning.
And she's not afraid to poke fun at societal norms.
Especially when it comes to gender roles and stereotypes.
She's using humor to challenge the status quo.
It's inspiring.
Comedy can be a powerful tool for change.
Okay, we're down to our last comedian.
Oh, already.
I know, I'm sad to see it end.
Me too.
Who is it?
Seth Rogen.
Oh, Seth. He's great.
So many iconic comedies.
He's become synonymous with a certain type of humor.
Yeah, like the stoner comedy genre.
Yeah.
But there's more to him than that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of heart and intelligence in his work.
He's got that contagious laugh and that everyman persona.
What do you think are the hallmarks of his style?
Well, he's not afraid to be irreverent and a bit crude, but it's
Yeah.
never mean-spirited.
That's true.
And he's always making fun of himself.
Which makes him relatable.
It does. He doesn't take himself too seriously.
And his characters are often a bit lost,
Yeah.
just trying to figure things out.
Which we can all relate to.
It's that blend of humor and heart that makes his work so appealing.
All right, well, that's it.
That's our list.
Wow. This has been an amazing deep dive.
It has. I've learned so much.
Me too. It's
Yeah.
made me realize
What?
that there are so many different ways to make people laugh.
That's the beauty of comedy.
It is. So we focused on actors today,
Yeah,
but comedy comes in so many forms.
it does. Stand-up YouTubers, writers, even our own funny friends.
So what makes someone truly funny to you?
That's a great question.
What are those qualities or techniques that just make you laugh out loud?
Think about it. And remember, laughter is a gift,
It is.
both to give and to receive.
So true. So go out there,
Find things that make you laugh,
to share those laughs with others.
and keep exploring the wonderful world of comedy.